leave your traditional job and switch to your side hustles, but you're kind of have one foot in and one foot out, and you want to start freelancing. I'm going to give you 5 problems that freelancers generally face and how to overcome them. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. With your girl, the real Teddy Talks, educating on entrepreneurship, you hustling your grind, and building generational wealth. I am also your exit strategy specialist. So you want to leave your traditional 9 to 5 and switch to something that's a little more fulfilling and enjoyable, and it's probably in the form of a side hustle or 2 or 3 or 4, like me. Well, let's talk about freelancing. Freelancing is a great way to kind of get your feet wet, doing something you're enjoying, doing something you love, doing something you know about without cutting that corporate cord right away. But as a freelancer, you need to prepare for some pitfalls that you're going to face. Okay, so we're going to go over 5 common problems that freelancers face and how to overcome them. The first problem that freelancers face, especially if you're going to try to do freelancing full-time, is finding steady clients. Finding a client or 2 isn't a problem. Finding clients that are willing to pay and pay you often is challenging, and especially if you're in a service industry, because people only need that service sometimes one time. Just think if you create those entertainment studios or centers, you hang TVs and do the surround sound in people's house. I think that's a great side hustle, a great freelancing opportunity, especially one you can leverage your close network. You may never have to go out to strangers, right? But the problem is, if I hang up your TV, your flat screen on your wall, and I do your surround sound, you generally only need that once. You don't need that 2, 3, and 4 times, so you may not be a repeat customer, right? And there are other things that are just like that. So what you need to do is leverage the heck out of social media and leverage the heck out of your network. So the goal in those situations is, if you've helped someone, you need to make sure that there is a benefit in it for them to refer you to other people, because that word of mouth is going to keep you busy. And if you're doing it on the evenings and the weekends, you want to have whatever time you've allotted booked up, and you want to be booked up like a month out, right? So make sure that your customer is incentivized in some way, and make sure you do a fantastic job and provide such great customer service that they'll tell others about you without any incentive. And use social media. Put it out there consistently. If you're not good with social media, that is okay. Find someone who is. I'm going to have a whole small mini series on hiring a virtual assistant, and there are people out there that only do certain things. One of them is social media. So if you need someone out there speaking for you on social media, and you are aware of your brand and you're aware of your brand message, and you can relay that to them, hand it over. It will be an expense, but it's an expense well paid if you find somebody that can do it and do it well. The second pitfall that freelancers face is gaps in income. If you're trying to move to freelancing full time, those ebbs and flows and gaps in income are going to be crucial for you to understand and be able to overcome. Suppose you're a photographer, right? It's probably on and popping in the summertime and maybe the fall time, right? Depending on where you live. You got weddings, you have people being born, you have a lot of events that are happening when the weather's nice. Live somewhere like in the north of the United States when it's snowing and mucky. I'm from Ohio, where the snow stays around for months at a time and turns black. Like, that's no time to be taking outside photos, right? So you maybe have a lot of business during the summer, fall, maybe spring, but during that winter time, it's completely dead. So my best recommendation when you hit that is to budget. You need to receive income, and you need to pay yourself a salary. And the rest of that money is not reinvested back into your company. I mean, you need to have a budget for that, but that money needs to sit in your account so you can pay yourself the next month. And that way, once you've done that for a whole year, a whole cycle, 4 seasons, then you can better prepare for the income that you're going to get. And you can realize if you need to scale, you need to change it up, you need to make more money, offer more products, offer different packages, raise your prices, whatever it is. So you need to give yourself a whole year of that freelance side hustle, that income, so you can prepare for the future. If you've taken the leap kind of ahead of that and you're struggling, then you need to start budgeting, and you need to figure out if you're priced right and how you can make some more income by raising your prices or offering more value in your packages. But either way, that financial piece is so important, and there will be ebbs and flows. So you need to maximize your customers, maximize your return customers, your customer utilization, so that you can keep that money coming in. The third pitfall that you're going to experience as a freelancer is time management. Because it's kind of like the ebbs and flows again, there'll be one week where you might have 5 gigs, or one weekend when you're doing 3 setups or 3 TVs or 3 consultations or whatever it is. And then another week or the weekend when you only have 1 or 2. Then another week you have 5 or 10. So you have to be able to handle those ebbs and flows. You need to block time on your schedule and use that time only for those things. And if a flood of opportunities come in, you need to handle those. But don't get greedy. Don't let your ego get involved, and don't get scared. You are your boss. You are your time manager. You need to set your schedule accordingly, because when you overbook, nothing good happens, all right? So set your schedule, know what your availability is. Even if you get a flood of customers, you put out some new ad and it hit hard and people love you and everybody wants you. Sometimes it's good to have that delay and that hype and say, I'm booked up till X date. I'm booked up for the next 3 weeks. Then people may still want you and want you bad. If you have a good value and you have a good product, people will wait. So practice your time management. You are your own boss now. The fourth pitfall of being a freelancer is doing it alone. Everyone doesn't have a reliable team around you. Everyone doesn't have a group of people that are willing to help and bring you along. So it's hard to do it by yourself. And you're going to have to hire someone to do something. If you're going to leverage your personal self, your website or your online presence, and your social media presence, just those things, it's hard to do that by yourself. Now add in customer service, add in emails, invoicing, bookkeeping. It gets too much very, very fast. So figure out what you have the bandwidth and the time for. And if you don't have a team of people that are there to help you, you need to find your team and hire them. I highly, highly, highly recommend virtual assistants. I will put the link to the virtual assistant people that I use. And if you don't want to use them, that's fine. It is an affiliate link, but you need to find someone that's willing to help you. If you know some college students, you have a little cousin, a little niece or nephew that's looking for some part-time job and they're skilled in any of those aspects and they can help you, hire them. Find a service in kind and get them. But you cannot do it alone. You need to hire help. Take it from me. And the fifth and final pitfall that freelancers face is tracking your time. So not manage your time, but tracking your time. When I hired my virtual assistants, I downloaded an app called Time Doctor, and I use that for them because it lets me track when they're working on my projects. I get screenshots of their screens to make sure they're working on their projects, and the app even sends back to me when they may be working on something that's not in line with the project they should be working on. And I love the app so much that I've even been using it for myself. I've been tracking my own time. And the reason I do this is because when I need to hire out, I need to figure out how I'm going to scale my team. I need to know how much time I'm spending on things. I used to think it only took me like 30 minutes, 45 minutes to edit a YouTube video. And then I look at the Time Doctor and I see that this one video took me an hour and 15 minutes, or 2 hours. And I'm like, whoa, that's way too much. I don't have the bandwidth to be making videos every day and then spending another hour or 2 editing them. So I knew then that I need to find a video editor. And the same goes for you. You need to track your time, see where you're spending time, see where you're wasting it, and see where you can hire someone to do it, and the value is better for them to do it than for you to do it. You have to know every little piece of your business so that you can make the changes, pivot and scale and decline where necessary. Freelancing is a great way to get your feet wet in the side hustle and prepare to leave your traditional 9-to-5. And hopefully these 5 tips have made you a little more aware of what you can expect. I'll be writing a blog on this week, so look for that on my website, 365-Day Exit Strategy blog, next week. Invest in yourself just 1% a day, reach your exponential greatness, and have phenomenal results at the end of that year. This is the Real Teddy Talks, your exit strategy specialist, signing off. The Real Teddy Talks.